something fairly nice, and I should be able to use this piece or even this piece. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll cut the decal in half, and as I said, I'll be able to use it on 2 full nails. As you can see from the mani that I did yesterday, I actually made a bunch of different designs, and on this one I placed the decal just on the edge and used the background color for a good chunk of it. So it's not like when you dip your fingers in a whole cup, you don't have to take the whole thing on your nail. You can place it, because the decal is going to be dry, just where you want it, and have either just half of your nail or your whole nail covered. So let's go back. This one has to dry. I usually let them dry for about a half an hour before I'll attempt to move it or take the water out from underneath. This one has been drying for a while, and as you can see, you can tell that it's starting to dry because it's going to start to pucker on the edges. Let's see if we get it closer. Okay, there we go. And what I first tried to do before I will pick it up is you want to get the water, some of the water out from underneath. And the best way you can do that is to take a paper towel or even a baby washcloth and kind of ball it up and extract the water from underneath, and it will just suck right out here. You can also use a cotton ball. Now you have to be really careful with a cotton ball, because if it's not completely dry, the filaments from the cotton could ruin your decal. But as you can see, this one's been drying for a while. Now sometimes I dry them overnight, but if you don't know your polish very well, it could turn out that in the morning the decal is actually too crispy and won't lay down as nicely as you would like on the nail. So I do try to get them up that night. Now then I'll take a pair of tweezers and I'll lift it up. So here's my decal. I use, as you can see, the one of the colors is very sheer. And so I'm going to be sure to put that on a nail that has a base color. Now while we're looking at that, while we're letting this, I typically move it to another square and allow it to dry. If you're pretty sure it's dry, you can take a baby washcloth and pat it. Oh, you can see I just broke it. And you can turn it over and dry the back. Now here's one that I made earlier, and I've actually already cut into this. So as you can see, I've already made one nail from this, and it's completely dry. And what I'm going to show you is how to apply it onto your nail. I am a big fan of nail foil glue. And so instead of using base coat or top coat to adhere a decal, sorry, you get to listen to my beautiful grandmother clock in the background. I use nail foil glue so that when you put the decal on, there will be no melting, because if you use a base coat or a top coat, sometimes the top coat will melt your decal. I have another whole video on applying decals with nail foil glue on my channel if you want to take a look at that. Now this needs to dry a little bit more, but let me just see if there's anything else I can add. Now you can see that this one that I just did it's pretty dry. And I'm going to actually, instead of using the one that I showed you, I'm going to use this one, because if you can manipulate it within this hour of making it, it's going to be easier to apply because it's still quite soft. Whereas this one I made this morning, and it's already getting a tad brittle. I don't think I'll have a problem with it, and I still think I would be able to use it, but just for sake of argument, let's use a fresher one. Now what I would like to do with this decal is, instead of putting it on an entire nail, I think I would like to just cover a piece of the nail. So I'm going to take my tweezers and I am going to cut it . And before I put the nail foil glue on top of my base color, I did use top coat. This nail foil glue gets very, very tacky. And if you want any hope of being able to replace the decal, you should definitely put top coat on so that when you lift it, it won't lift up the color. So let's see how this looks. I just want it on a piece of the nail, not the whole thing. Now, as I said, this decal is only an hour or so old. I made it before I started filming, so I wanted it dry enough. And if you've watched my other video on how to apply a decal with nail foil glue, this will look familiar to you. I actually press it down quite firmly, and then I cut it away. And because this is still so soft, because it's fresh, I can tuck it under quite nicely. And it's ready for top coat. I didn't do a terrific job of trimming the edge, so you can still see a little bit of that blue. Whoops, sorry about that. You can still see a little bit of that blue, but I think it still looks pretty good. And I still have a bunch of this decal left. So that's it. And as you can see, while we've been working, this other guy has been drying. It is pretty much ready to come out. Let's just take a look. Aha! So I knew there was a reason that I picked this one up to show you the evils of what can happen if you pick it up too quick. Yeah, so we've destroyed this one. Pretty good. But no mess. When was the last time you had a nail fail with a water marble with no mess? But the other one worked, and I think, as you can see, it came out terrific. So I want to thank you for visiting my channel. As I say on my other videos, my work is never perfect. It's real. It's like everyone else's the first time. And I think, too, the fact that you've seen what can happen with a perfectly good application and then what happens